Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Squirrel live stream channel. Um, we are doing these pretty much every other week. So if you find any of this content interesting, take a look at our YouTube channel. We have a live stream um, we have a live stream playlist where all of these are slightly edited just to reduce some of the startup time and stuff, and you can see those on demand. Couple quick housekeeping things. If you want to ask a question, feel free to do so at any time. You can do that via the YouTube chat. You will need to be signed into either a YouTube account or a Google account, but ask away at any time. We will take some time at the end to go through any questions we get. Also, if you are having any technical difficulties or if you notice any issues with sound levels or anything like that, please feel free to let me know. Again, in the YouTube chat, we have moved locations since our last stream, so whenever you move stuff, something always goes wrong. And also, if you want to keep abreast of upcoming streams, or when we go live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the little bell icon. That'll give you notifications when new content's posted, or just follow us on your social media platform of choice. We always have notifications there as well. So today we're going to be talking about the capability in Squirrel 11 to make changes to your POS configuration from the front of house terminals. So quite often, if somebody wants to make a change or adjust something in the POS, they think that they need to go back into their back office and access the system from there. And in some cases that is true, but in many cases you're able to make some changes from the front of house, which can be advantageous for a manager who is in the midst of a rush or in the midst of something else and doesn't want to have to leave the floor. The person that's going to be walking us through all of this is a gentleman by the name of Tim Dumais. He is the manager of our solution engineering team. So he frequently interacts with customers. He's very aware of the kind of issues and the kind of capabilities that restaurants need to operate at their maximum efficiency. So with that, we're going to dive right in. Probably take around 15 to 20 minutes of your time. Again, any questions, feel free to ask at any time. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tim. Welcome, Tim.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Penn, for introducing me. Hope everybody's having a good day. Basically, I'm going to share my screen here. This is a Squirrel terminal, what the server managers would actually see. So I'm going to go through a few of the items that Penn kind of mentioned, more of around editing an employee, editing menu items first. Then I'll get into check adjustment in some on the front of the house reports. So everything that I'm going to show you kind of makes it easier, so you don't have to go to your office to make these changes or anything like that. So first one that I'll get into, I'm going to log in with a manager. So my manager has the rights to get into each one of our revenue centers. So I just need to pick a revenue center to get into. Then I'm going to go to our admin tab, which allows me to get into what we call manager tabs. So these are functions that we kind of give permissions for managers to actually do and not have servers get into. So from going to the manager tab, I can actually edit an employee, edit an item, like I said, and basically do different things on the front of the house, some diagnostic stuff from the front of the house, just to kind of let you know what's going on. So first I'll do an edit employee. So from the front of the house, I could actually edit a badge, their role there. So if I go edit employee, I'm going to pick squirrel. And basically it will allow me anything that's kind of in bold here will allow me to change. So I could change their badge number. I could change their badge name. I could change the screens that they can get into. So this is all on the fly from the front of the house. So example, if I want to change their badge number from 55 to 35s, and once I hit done here, that actually writes it out to your back office database. And so when the employee actually goes to log in again, and so if I log back out here, 555 is my new login. So it allows me to get in. So that happens pretty much instantly for you to edit an employee. So example, another one that you can get into is add an employee. So if you just had a new hire and you wanted him or her to start that evening, you could actually do that. I'm going to add in this person. So the employee number, I'm going to add in badge. So you can do a swipe card, you can do the fingerprint. I need a badge. So I'm just going to go 456. What's their name that you want on their badge? So the access group of what do I want to access? Do I just want to access a specific revenue center or allow them to get into all departments? What's the security group that you want to allow them? So this will give them the functionality on the front of the house of what they can actually do. So I'm going to go flow manager. I'm going to default into, we have different tabs with different functions on it, depending on what you want to do within the system. So I can default anybody to these different tabs. Then if I wanted to default a bartender to a specific screen, say bottled beer, or if you want to do what we call a speed screen, so you could actually default them to that with your most popular beverage items on it. So I'm just going to pick the directory so they can see what they actually log into. Then we can get into fingerprint data. If you have fingerprints, we could set up a second PIN number for that person to use to log in. So example, a manager, if you want them to log in with a second number that no one kind of can see, we can do that. So once I hit done, and I'm going to go back up, I'm going to log back out. I'll log back in real quick, 456. And they're into the system right away. This box that is coming up is what we call the message center, and I'll explain that in a minute. So this person now, Tim, is ready to go. They're ready to ring up sales and everything like that for the day. So it's pretty easy to actually allow someone to start on that specific day and moving forward. So I'm going to log back in with that manager. So another piece here is I can come in and have a function button where I can just edit a message or edit the badge for this person. So I don't have to go to my admin tab. I can go, instead of coming to the edit employee and going finding Tim, I could actually edit that person's badge from a functionality on the front of the house under the manager functions in edit badge. So I can actually change the badge and only change the badge number for that employee. So if someone loses their card, they're already in the system, I can actually edit the badge itself and give them a new badge number from the front of the house. So there's a couple of things around employees. So you can create, adjust, and like I said, I can adjust any of the functionality of that employee by just going to the manager and edit. Squirrel, flow manager, like I said, we can go back to 55. and it takes effect right away. Okay, I'm going to go back to the Manager tab. And all right, sorry. All right. My apologies. I'm going to cancel this. So another one of the things that we could actually do is edit countdown on the front of the house. So we can actually add in a count to menu items. So I don't have to go to the back office to do it. So this coffee, I could say that there's only 20 left, and I hit done, and it will allow me to get to the on screen. It will show that the servers, oops, that there is only 20 coffees left. All right, I'm going to look at the back of the house for a moment just to see where my on screen setup. My apologies on this. Okay, I'm going to go back to the front of the house. So I got the edit in menu item. Sorry, it's cut off here. Edit menu item I am just going into. So there are several things that you can do with menu items. So I can add a brand new one. I can edit one that's already on in the system. So I can change the price on it. I can change the printer routing on it. But I can also move items off screen and on screen. So example with specials, if you had tuna today and you had salmon yesterday, so I could actually move things off screen and on screen. So it will allow me to, I go move on, it wants me to pick what I want to move on screen. So example, I'll go pack of crackers. This is the one that I want. So it's asking me what department do I want to put it in. I'll go dining and I'll put it on the NA beverage screen and I can actually come in and basically place it. I'm just clicking on the screen of where I want to place that. And it allows me to get out of it and hit done. So I have now placed that pack of crackers on screen. So I could actually go move that pack of crackers off screen. So example, your salmon tuna scenario, you can move it on and off. That way there you could actually track what your daily special is without having a generic daily special button. So yeah, so if I wanted to add, say I want it on screen. So basically I want it in the dining department. I'm going to basically copy this coffee and I'm going to name it tea. So by copying that coffee, it is remembering everything that's associated with that coffee as far as what printer it goes to, what category it's in, if there's any modification that needs to be done to it. The only thing I really need to do is give it a name and change the price if I want to change the price to $2. I can have multiple price lists, so you just need to change each price list. If you do that, then the last step is to go put it in the dining room, non-alcoholic beverages, and I'm just, again, touch the screen, and that's where I want to kind of place it. Once I finalize or want it there, I go up and hit done and done. So now if I go back out to the table area, and pick a table. I'll go to non-alcoholic beverages. There's my tea. There's my 20 coffees and my pack of crackers. So there's a lot of flexibility on the front of the house of what you can actually do with the manager. So kind of talked about editing items. We talked about editing employees. So now another feature that we can do from the front of the house is a check adjustment. So if someone has made a mistake, I rang in a check a few minutes ago with a bunch of copies on it, and I settled it to a master. I think I picked Visa. And by accident, I put a $500 tip where it should have been a $50 tip. So I can allow the manager to come in and do a check adjustment. So it wants to know enter the number of the closed check. So I know it was number 243, and it's today's date. So I am actually in, and it shows me that I rang up coffees. So I rang up 500 coffees. And now if I want to adjust this check, I come over to the payments, and the tip area, I want to change that to $50. And now the check is now $610 instead of $1,060. So by hitting done, that check has now been adjusted. So the server has the correct tip amount onto their card, or when they go to do their cash out or reconciliation at the end of the day. So it's not giving that wrong tip number. So you can do this at any point in time through the course of the day to adjust any of the closed checks that you have. So there is also this communication center that we had been talking about or shown when we first logged in. I'm going to go to the admin tab. So every time that we can control that pop up so that it comes up every time that you log in, that you log out, that you cash out, if you're punching in or punching out. So we can give different messages. And one of the messages that we kind of recommend to set up for the server to see when they first come in. So example, we could actually, it says welcome to Squirrel Training. We recommend setting up one that is their daily specials. So if you get an app special, you have a sandwich special, a dessert special, you could actually come in and list that. So the server sees what the specials are for that day, and it allows the manager from the front of the house to adjust that content to change it from salmon to tuna for your entree special, from change the soup of the day from mushroom to cream of broccoli. So it allows the managers to have that functionality from the front of the house and not having to remember it from the back of the house. So there's a lot of good functionality at the front of the house to allow you to stay on the front of the house in the restaurant to manage the restaurant instead of sitting in the office and trying to manage kind of all of these things. Then also from the front of the house, if I go back into the manager tabs, there are reports that I can get into that will show on screen. So I can actually do a quick snapshot of my total sales for the day. I'll go all the departments, and basically it will break it down by the categories that I have. And also if you have different time periods set up, you could actually see your breakfast total, your lunch total, your dinner total, your late night total. So you could see a number of the reports. So if I go pick report, I can go look at employees. I can see employee sales, what their average check is. how much in volume. So if they were the different categories, if I was running a contest, I could actually see if I was running a dessert contest, who was bringing up or who's in the lead for this current day. So front of the house gives you a lot of different snapshot reporting to help you make decisions. So you can actually see your sales, you can see your covers, what's happening. You can try to adjust your labor, cutting people, so you can see the trends and how many covers that you've done in the last half hour, last hour, last 15 minutes, if you really needed to. So there's a lot of different reports out here that you can bring up on the terminal so you don't have to go to the office. Example, I can see all my open checks, who my servers that have not cashed out. So it's just a lot of flexibility out here of what you can actually report on. So if you were using our labor module, you could actually see how many hours that the actual line cook has compared to the dishwasher, compared to the bar back, to the busser. So all of that is reportable on the front of the house. Okay. Then we've also done what we call print 40. So this is mimicking, excuse me, some of the back of the house reporting that you could do from out front. So if I wanted to see some employee reports or some, basically my cash outs or a balance report of a transaction, or how many QSAs or voids that I've done. So these reports, the print 40 will actually print on the check printer right next to that terminal that you're on. So lots of flexibility around reporting. Those are a lot of the features that you can do front of the house for a manager to allow them to stay on the floor to manage what's happening out there. And
Yeah,
I
that's
think
awesome.
that was what we had decided to cover today.
That's awesome. Thanks, Tim. So for anyone viewing, I think one of the things that we're trying to help people understand is just there might be a range of flexibility and capabilities from the actual front of house terminals that maybe you don't know about. And if you are interested in exploring that, if you're a Squirrel customer, please reach out to your sales rep. Otherwise, you can just reach us via our website or email info@squirrelsystems.com. The one thing that did come up, Tim, if you could just maybe comment on it, is around permissions. So if a customer or a site has, say a general manager and then say a day manager and a supervisor and then their front of house staff, the assumption is that those roles and permissions will all carry through, same as they would if set up on the back office system.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So everything is actually set up on the back office. So when you're applying it on the front of the house, you're just taking that functionality that's already been set up and applying.
Right. So there's no additional administration work or anything like
Yep.
that. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much, Tim. Thank you to everybody who attended. It takes about 24 hours for YouTube to do its magic, and we will be reposting this as a view-on-demand version probably tomorrow, editing out some of the starting soon entry slides and stuff like that. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great weekend. Again, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and follow us on social. We will have another one of these coming up in about 2 weeks. Take care.